Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
All right, Flyover family, we say every Friday, you got to make America great. We need Americans to be great.
That's
and we've been promised the next 30 minutes may be the best 30 minutes ever. Brought to you by the author of How to Build a Successful Business, the one and only Mr. Clay Clark.
Yay! Yeah!
Dave, the reason why I said this could be the best show ever is because I grew up in a home where we didn't have any financial resources. So every decision was based upon, could we afford it? I wanted to play baseball. Could we afford it? We wanted to go, and now we're not talking about extravagant vacations, but, could we go on a trip ever? It always came down to, could we afford it? So my father, may he rest in peace, he did the best job he possibly could. So he worked at Quick Trip, given what he knew, the gas station chain. Then he worked delivering pizzas, and he did what he could do working for Domino's and Quick Trip. But he did not know about what we're going to teach on today's show. He didn't know. And so occasionally he would sign up for some program. He wasn't I don't know if he got scammed, but he definitely believed that if he signed up for this thing and he got the certification and he went to this course, there was a guy with the headset microphone that could teach him the super move. And then somehow it would go, wah, 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 and it didn't happen. And then he would go back to the thing. And so It was always like he was doing the job.
Heartbreaking.
And then
Man.
Commercially. Do you want to get rich in the next 7 months? And yes, we do. And he would go to the conference. He would take notes. He'd sign up for the thing. And wah, wah, wah. On today's show, this is a guy We're featuring a guy who's been in the
Hey,
business
Clay,
for 30
before you get that testimony, can I just make a point here real quick for people listening? We're doing a lot of focus right now. We had the Hobby Lobby, David Green on last week. He's on with another guy named Bill Hine. There's a book about
thank
legacy.
you, Clay introduced us to
Thank you,
him.
Clay.
Thank you for doing that.
And so now we're building as a family. There's a 7-week course now we're taking that they offered about building legacies within that. And
that was an amazing interview, by the way.
It's forced me to really think about because sometimes it's like what was good and what was not good. I really want our listeners to really, if you're here, if you're living right now, you're a descendant of somebody that was a doer.
Yeah.
Because throughout most of human history, this is the first era where you could kind of like sit around and do nothing and still live.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, people who don't have jobs and are on government assistance actually are heavier and have more of an obesity problem than people that work and have jobs days. It's never happened in human history. But I use an analogy with Stacy, with like, there were so many good things with my parents, but they were just always showed up right when the last one is always sold or whatever. But they had a value for excellence, but just never completed anything. I said, it's kind of like they had a value for tools and they accumulated tools, but they never built anything. And so I kind of was able to sort of take those tools and build a few things. And then now as a family, we're kind of continuing that. Now we're like building a manufacturing facility, and our kids, their vision is so much further beyond like everything you're saying about.
That's an analogy, by the way.
It's an analogy. We're not building a factory, but my parents valued the tools. And you're saying this, like my dad had still in the cellophane wrap, a set of cassette tapes by Earl Nightingale called "Lead the Field," and I saw those in his office. They're buried underneath stuff, and I'm like, "What's this?" And I took it, and I just was like, I said, "These are so good." He valued the information enough to buy it off the Time Life commercial or something, but he never opened it. Never acted on it, and never did it. And my family, for the most part, they would have all needed a co-signer to pay cash for something, and so. But they valued it. So I think it's important. My point of all this, I want everybody listening.
That's really funny.
To go through and think of like what are all, because it's easy to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and no matter what, even when you hear J.D. Vance talk, if you've ever seen the Hillbilly Elegy movie, like there are great little qualities in his family, even though there's addiction and brokenness and all this, that obviously he took and was able to, build this great life with. To be very intentional as you go through this garden, it's like there's weeds and there's flowers, to not pull out 100% everything, because there's so much good. And I've heard you say so many stories about your dad and, when he passed and the people that showed up and like the legacy that he left and the lives that he impacted are all unbelievable. And I'm really in this mindset because of the David Green and Hobby Lobby interview that we did. And we'll put a link to that down below because really everybody should just watch it. You'll be a better person for watching it. It's that good of content. But it's important every day to be looking at this legacy idea. What am I passing to my kids, my grandkids, even the great-great-grandkids I may never meet? And I'm pulling out as many of the weeds, but still building on whatever was there, because if you're alive, somebody in your the flow chart above you was a doer. They were amazing, because up until right now, you had doers and dead people. You had hustlers, people that chopped wood in the summer and were warm in the winter, or people that sat around all summer and froze in the winter. But lazy people all died up until now. This is a new thing. And so, really be intentional with these legacies that you have. And it's like, and it might be, for some of you out there, it might be 90% trash. It's like I had to overcome this. There was addiction and there was this, and I had generational curses. But he was really good at this. There was a thing. And so really, but hold on to the thing that was good, because you have something then to build from, that's really good. And I think that's a little bit of the story of you from your books and interviewing you probably 100 times, is you've really taken every good thing you could find that was around you as a resource, and then you outsourced, like vitamin supplements, all that wasn't there, and really built on that. But you weren't building from nothing. Yeah. You were just a first generation like entrepreneur, but you really did hold on to all those things. And everybody has something like that they can grab and build onto.
Well, I'll say this real quick too, Dave, before we play this clip. My father, his whole thing was, if you had a flat tire and you were on the highway and he drove by, it was a good deal for you, because no matter how much money we didn't have, he's pulling over and checking on every man, woman. Now, that's a tough deal. If you're in the car with my dad, you might not get to the destination because he will pull over to check on anybody with a flat tire. And then regardless of how much money we had or didn't have, he's going to use his credit card to pay for your tire to be fixed if he could, because that's the kind of guy my dad was. He was that kind of guy. But he didn't know how to financially get unstuck, right? So that was the one thing he didn't know. Now, on this clip we have here, there's a guy who's been he's been installing wood floors for 32 years. Tile, wood floor. And he made a comment the other day, and I'm not mocking him. I'm just saying, because this is how it was communicated. He made a comment to Sean, his implementer, his coach in our coaching program. He said, this is probably the best month we've ever had by a lot. And Sean's like, what did you just say? Well, it's the best month we've ever had by a lot. And Sean's going, now, how many leads are you getting per month now? Because, this is a guy that was getting 5 leads a month from Google. He's, well, we got 120.
Whoa!
And so it's like, what? I mean,
by a lot.
Yeah, we're going to have to hire some more people. I mean, this is the equivalent of like somebody saying, imagine that the Titanic was leaking, right? And this would be like, hey, everybody, this is your captain. We got a small leak coming in. So just let y'all know. He's the most understated guy ever. So when you listen to what he says, the profundity of what he's saying, and it's because he's been doing something for 32 years. He's been working with his hands. He's been managing teams of people. And I think this will fire you up, folks, headed into Thanksgiving, because I'm telling you, this guy's now unstuck, and his entire transformation was a little less than a year. So I think you're going to love this clip, Dave. Bobby Williamson, welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the time. I've been doing this 32 years. On January 13th of this coming year, 32 years. God's been good to us. I do a lot of TV advertising. I do a lot of radio. I do newspaper. And this is probably the best money I spend for the leads that are generated from your what y'all do for our company. We get several, over 120 leads last month just generated off of what the website y'all developed for us produced, and the results are on paper. We're providing the services in the area, and we're the only way I can do anymore is hire more people. But I would highly recommend anybody looking to do, increase their business and cash flow and to go with your company on that and retain your services for that. The $1,700
I mean,
so
Clay,
good.
And you did a great job with his voice too, dude.
Crushed it. You might do him better than he does. And I think
That was excellent.
I love this guy.
He's in Louisiana. He's probably in the constituent and probably votes for Senator Kennedy down there, who I think is one of the most believable and most entertaining people in Congress.
I agree.
I just, Colton, what fires me up is growing up as a kid, growing up without money. I remember when I got invited to DJ for the Minnesota Vikings. That was the Minnesota Vikings NFL team. I got a chance to DJ for them. I remember the first time I DJ'd for a professional athlete. I DJ'd for big events. I remember thinking, wow, we just got booked for Chuck Norris's birthday.
Wow.
I remember these are all like goosebump moments for me. But I had to start somewhere, right? So what I want to talk about on today's show is what does success look like? All right. So I want to break it down because it wasn't a glamorous start. There were three recurring gigs I got, Colton, by cold calling. Okay. So step number one, if you're watching today's show, you say step number one, there's 4 steps I want to teach you. 1, you find a problem. Okay. If you're watching this show right now and you say, I do not know how to grow my business, or I want to start one, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You get a ticket for our upcoming event, December 4th and 5th in Anaheim, California, or look for an upcoming business conference, or you schedule a free consultation with myself. This guy just scheduled a consultation right off the jump. He just said, well, I'm just going to schedule a consultation. If you watch the whole video with him, it's hilarious. He's like, well, I don't figured, sounds interesting to me. I mean, so he just booked a call. So
That's
I'm on
awesome.
the call. I said, what's your name? My name is Bobby. And I'm going, so Bobby, what do you do? I install floors. And I'm going, all right. And so again, you just right off the jump, he went to thrivetimeshow.com. He scheduled a consultation. I would highly recommend you do that. You use promo code FLYOVER. You get a chance to win backstage passes to the upcoming event, Anaheim, California, December 4th and 5th. You also get a chance to win behind the stage kind of backstage passes to meet everybody. You get discounts off of VIP tickets. It's all right there. Promo code FLYOVER. But again, back to this idea. So I'm wanting to build my DJ empire, right? So I don't have equipment. No one ever asks me these questions. No one ever asks about this part. I don't have any equipment. So I went to a guy named Oswald who was perpetually high, and I said, Oswald, can I rent gear from you? And he said, bruh, no problem, bro. When do you need it? I'm going, Oswald, you hearing me?
Chicken from Surf's Up.
No. Yeah, so just take, and just tell, whenever you need it, just let me know. So that was my equipment guy. So I rented the gear from him, and then I didn't have a dual CD players to mix the music. I didn't have a fader. So I talked to my youth pastor because he had a car. I wasn't old enough to drive, and I got the equipment from him, but I still didn't have a crossfader. So I bought a crossfader from Radio Shack, and I shipped it. So I had two CD players, and I'm doing it, and I didn't have music, So I went to BMG, and I subscribed where you got 13 CDs for a penny as long as you cancel or something. You got to buy one CD. I signed up my mom, my dad, my dog, myself, my brother. True story. Signed up everybody. I'm getting hundreds of CDs shipped to me, and that's how I got started. And so then how did I get leads? I had to pick up the phone, Colton, and cold call schools and country clubs and go, boop, 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 boop. Hey, who DJs your school dances? And they go, I think that's the PTA mother. Okay, can I talk to her, please? Working my way through the labyrinth of voicemail hell and the whole thing. I get a hold of a person and I say, hey, and again, I'm 15 years old, 14 years old. I'm under 16. I'm a disc jockey, and I would love to DJ for your school dance. And I'm very confident in what we do. I'll do it for $1, and you can pay me after the event whatever price you think makes sense, because it's going to be so mind-blowing, so life-changing, so awesome that the kids are going to love it. And almost every time I would at least get the golden look, or I would at least get an opportunity to do an event for $1.
Yeah.
And Colton, that's how I got started. Like, that's
Come on.
Wow.
that's how I made it to money. That's how I did it. And then I got these 3 recurring hell gigs. I'm married now. Okay. 5 years later, I'm DJing every single Thursday for Thirsty Thursdays and this is pre-Christ, folks, but it was at Thirsty Thursdays at this Yucatan liquor stand where my job was to sell adult beverages to people on a Thursday. And the deal was I got to keep $2 commission per adult beverage I sold. So I'm trying to convince adults to sign up for a drunken volleyball tournament on a Thursday starting at 6 p.m.
Just around the creme de la creme of society. People like, I can get tanked at half the price.
No, Dave, these are people not coming in to get tanked. These are people looking like you, and I'm going, pre-Christ, I'm going, sir, you have what it takes. I'm almost like Uncle Sam of this place. I want you to sign up for the volleyball tournament, sir. But in order to get in, you got to have 2 beverages. Come on, sir. So I'm working that thing. I'm running sound for impersonators at the Holiday Inn Select. This is a recurring gig. Every Thursday I'm over here at the Yucatan liquor stand. I'm doing Holiday Inn recurring events. And every Saturday morning I'm at David's Bridal mixing music for 4 to 7 people, primarily brides.
That sounds horrible. That sounds horrible.
9
in the morning at David's Bridal, I'm mixing music. What? But Colton,
that's like doing stand-up comedy in a library.
It is. I actually booked true story. I booked a recurring gig this is a true story. I booked a recurring gig at a hospice because they would celebrate the life of people that died.
Oh,
and so every month,
lots of energy.
True story. These are real stories. So all I'm saying, Colton, is this is what success looks like. You have to start. Step number 1, you have to make a list of problems that you can solve. And it turns out hospices, the Yucatan liquor stand, Holiday Inn, a lot of places
David's
we're
Bridal.
needing a disc jockey. David's Bridal. And Colton, I think some people miss that part. I think we're trying to go viral on YouTube, on Instagram. Yeah. We're trying to be on our grind. We're trying to make our branded mug, our swag, our gear, our logo, our print piece. But we're not finding a problem, Colton.
Yeah, that's the first thing, man. Got to identify the problems. And I think there are a lot of people that are looking for the bigger problems. They're listening to Elon Musk and they're like, I'm going to solve how we're going to get to Mars and stuff. And you're like, dude, solve how are cars going to get from here to here, and how
Yeah.
how is that building going to get built? And man, Costco's coming this way. What else is going to be around the Costco? And how do I make sure that I'm kind of like what else going? What the city's developing this way? What if I bought some land out here? And how do I solve it? And eventually somebody's going to want some of that land. Like how do I start to solve problems that are problems people are going to want to solve?
Yep.
I think people, Colton, great point there. I see people that, want the government to stop wasteful spending. Well, I have a great idea. Stop your own wasteful spending.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
back to Bobby. I'm sitting down with Bobby. We're looking at the numbers, and we're going, there's 3 phases to grow a company, okay? There's offense, that's marketing, branding, generating leads. Then there's defense, that's special teams, that's accounting. And then the third part is special teams. You need a special team to make your special dream work. That's what you need, offense, defense, special teams. And with Bobby, he's like, you just show me what to do, man, and I'm going to do it. And that was what we did. And so we're just doing it. It's working. So step number 2, you got to bring a solution. You got to find a solution. So for every single person watching this show, folks, if you're watching this show right now, I want to emit a Star Wars kind of tractor beam. Pulling you in. Pulling you. Is he talking to me, man? I think he's talking to you. 'Cause I'm telling you, if your income is not awesome, just schedule a 13-point assessment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
all Bobby knows is he's watching the show and there's a tractor beam. I don't know what's going on, man. I got to call this guy. I don't know. Bobby, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm just going to fill out the form. I can, life changed. You've got to take action. So the problem I solve is we fix businesses. And Stacy, I think somebody out there, you're watching this show right now. Somebody's watching. I'm sure your listeners don't, but somebody who shared this show with their friend is thinking this. They're like, yeah, I'm too far gone. I've been in a dysfunctional company for 29 years, 31 years, and I don't have what it takes. I'm in Louisiana. I'm in Michigan. I'm in Minnesota. I've been in a dysfunctional industry for 20 years. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too uneducated. I'm too whatever. Stacy, what do you say to somebody who just feels like I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too, because Bobby took action.
I tell you, every time that we've ever been to an event of yours, I'm always blown away because it doesn't matter how old somebody is, doesn't matter how young somebody is, it doesn't matter what color their skin is, it doesn't matter what state they live in, it doesn't even matter what industry they're in. They could be completely different. One that's a plastic surgeon, another one that's putting in pools. And what I found is when you apply the principles that Clay has, he's truly anointed for business.
Yeah.
It can completely change your life. It certainly did ours. So he takes away every excuse you could possibly have. Podcasting, it doesn't matter.
I would say it doesn't matter what your gender is, but I've only seen 2 successful ones.
Yeah.
But
Male or female, you know what I mean. If you're a man or a woman,
but
there's
those
only 2
those
genders.
2 do well.
Those 2
with your
are really
businesses.
good at it.
Now, this third phase, okay, is you have to sell a solution. Now, this is something I believe in. I believe there's professional. Man, I remember when I tried to be professional. I remember when I was trying to be professional. I remember that. I was DJing for Boeing's big Christmas party, and Alice Hargrove was my contact, and I just wanted to be so professional. Got my suit, got my tie clipped, got my hair cut, and I'm saying, hello, Miss Hargrove, my name's Clay Clark. I'm thinking about every word, trying to never misenunciate any word, and I'm saying, I would love to DJ for Boeing's Christmas party this year, and I'm trying to think of whatever that looks like. I'm trying to live a Hallmark movie of perfection and nail it down. But at a certain point, it occurred to me through Dr. Zellner's mentorship, it's better to be professional. What?
Yeah, what's that
because
mean?
it causes a relation shift. Let me give you an example. So when a relation shift is when people actually like and trust you, they want to buy from you. And so to quote Bobby, what he was telling me, he's like, I actually like talking to you guys. Like, I don't look forward to the call in a way where I'm going, I hope my doctor calls. It doesn't feel like I'm not trying to talk to you like I'm trying to talk to the IRS. You've made business growth fun. And he's like,
So
Clay,
good.
Devin on your team. By the way, Devin worked with us for 3 years before she got married. Now she's doing great things with her life. But he said on that testimonial, he said, Devin was a joy, a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was fun. It was funny. And if you're watching this show, I think when you think about business growth, you're thinking about going to one of those business conferences. You've all been to it, where it's professional. And then this is how that goes. They say, all right, everybody, welcome to the Greater Kansas City Community Development Workshop. My name's Carl, and I have a syllabus today, and we're going to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and in order for how we're going to adapt to AI. And you're like, did he just go on the pitch a little? What happened? AI. And so I brought my good friend Susan, who has a BS in whatever the heck and a master's in whatever the crap, and her good friend, she's be here as well. She's from Nebraska, and I love Nebraska. And you're going, oh, come on, get me out of here. And this goes on for days and days, and then Dave, at the end of it, there's someone trying to upsell you. And Dave, you can feel the upsell guy coming in.
Oh, yeah.
He comes in and he's going.
We've been there.
There's folks, we've got two people I got two spots available. Now we don't have time to talk about that, but I have two in the back there, two spots available, and I don't want to pressure you guys, but
That's the worst.
And then you, Dave, you can feel the upsell coming. And when Bobby and I are on the call, I remember Bobby's going, so it's $1,700 or literally whatever price I can pay. That's how coaching works. I mean, what? I just remember him saying, and I remember him saying that because so it's $1,700 or whatever I want to pay. I'm going, yeah. And I remember it clicked to him. So you do websites and print pieces and all that, yeah. And it just, and it occurred to him, well, Clay, if I get one job, they'll pay for it. I mean, just one job. I mean. And you can just, it was like the dreams, the hopes, the future, the past, the regret, the energy was all colliding in this supernova, Dave, of belief of like, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to do it. I remember that. I remember I asked him for his credit card. I said, you want to do debit card or credit card? I remember him. He's going, well, let's do it. I mean, he was just so, Dave.
Love that.
And I want somebody to have that kind of belief right now, this intersection where you say, I can become successful. Dave, you've done it. You've helped people do it. You and your wife have mentored couples through everything from how to have a great marriage to how to lose weight to how to grow a successful company. Yep. Dave, what do you say to somebody who's watched Earl Nightingale and all the Brian Tracy and they've watched TED Talks until their head explodes and they just feel like they can't do it? What do you say, Dave?
Well, sometimes it's the thing that they're missing is that person that just kind of has the checklist of all these pieces. Sometimes they're sitting there and it's like they have an unassembled grill and they value cooked steak and there's 1,000 pieces and they're like, man, I love steak. I know this will get it, but they just kind of don't know how to put these pieces together. And it doesn't even mean someone's more brilliant if they know how to put it together. I'll be struggling on my computer and my kids will come by and they'll just go boop, boop. And I'm like, oh, is that how you do that? You don't have to go file and copy. You like Command Z, it's so easy when you know how to do something and that little piece of information. So when all of a sudden you're coming to somebody, it's like going to a town for the first time and somebody knows how to get somewhere very easily. It's like, oh, that helps so much. And it takes, how long it would take to put together a grill with no instructions?
I can't even imagine.
You're just a million pieces. And even, and it's not that you don't want steak and you want it and you believe in the grill. It's all good, but you just struggle. And then you get somebody like you that's like, oh, here's the instructions. Here's all you got to do. Boom, boom, boom. Step one, A, find part 1, 2, and connect it to part 2B. And it's like, oh, this came together so well. The desire's typically always there. I don't really feel most people fail because they're lazy. Maybe they end up procrastinating because they get stuck and they're frustrated and they don't know what to do. Yep. But they just don't have that person that has the manual to put it together. So and that's where you really specialize is detailed processes, manual. Step 1, write down all your passcodes. We're going to get so you know how to log into all your stuff. Most people don't even know how to log into their back office for things. They bought software, they don't know how to log into it. Like step 1, these are so like dumb basic things, but you start with the easiest stuff, and all of a sudden, before you know it, it's like we have a grill. It's starting to look like a grill.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Your systems are running.
Great.
Yeah, so good.
Stacey, I want to ask this: has Dave ever taken you ice fishing before?
I've never been ice fishing.
That sounds like her hell.
Part of our marriage survival technique is not taking your ice fishing.
In my attempt to make this the best show that you'll ever have ever, this is it's a goal. I want to tell you about this story because I moved to Minnesota when I was 12. We had no financial resources, so we moved to Minnesota. My mom went to work for her sister. We're in Minnesota, and my dad's father went in for a routine knee surgery, and they misdiagnosed. They misread a chart. He died. Ooh. Surgery accident. My dad's father died. My dad's an only child. So my dad's like, oh, man, it's his best friend. It's his dad. I mean, he was tight. And it's like, oh, man, it's just, wow. So he goes down to Waco, Texas. Well, then his mother, my dad's mom and dad had been married since they were like 19. And she, as a shock, has a stroke almost immediately after her husband dies. Perfect health. And physically fit, looks great. And then she dies. So my dad went from like 2 parents to no parents, but really fast. And so my dad's like, I'm going to sell the family house and you're going to go live with your uncle in Minnesota for a while. And then once we sell it, we'll rejoin. And he had a great, but you could tell it was a lot. He lost his best friend. He lost his mom. It could not have been a worse scenario. So my dad, I go up to Minnesota. And my Uncle Jerry, he lives in Minnesota. He lives in Cokato, Minnesota. He lives in actually Darwin, Minnesota, which is home of the world's largest ball of twine. And I don't know Minnesotan. I don't speak Minnesotan. I really don't know a lot about it. But I do know that Uncle Jerry has these core philosophies that he lives by. And because I live with him, he says, he talks Minnesotan. So I'll kind of get into that flow in a second. But he says, if you don't work, you don't eat. And I'm 12. I'm like, sure. So he wakes me up. The alarm goes off. Honestly, it's like 5 a.m. and I go back to sleep. And I said, hey, what are we eating for breakfast an hour or two later? He says, well, you're not going to eat breakfast because if you don't work, you don't eat. So I go to school. My dad goes to high school. I go to get my lunch, and they're like, there's no funds available for your lunch today. And I'm going, what? Your Uncle Jerry called ahead. I guess you're not getting lunch today. And I'm like, what? I come home.
Your Uncle Jerry called
like, Uncle Jerry's like, hey, how's it going at school? Are you hungry? And I go, yeah. He's like, you should probably go feed the chickens because they're really hungry too, right? And you got to go feed the chickens. And he lives on a hobby farm, and you didn't feed them, so you can't. If you don't work, you don't eat. So you got to go feed them. And then you also will not be eating tonight until you do so. And so I'm thinking, like, I'm 12. I've never been around this kind of cause and effect relationship, And then Uncle Jerry says, you play basketball, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, okay, just interesting. I said, what's interesting? He goes, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. So the next morning we wake up, the alarm goes off. I am up now. I'm like, okay, feed the chickens,
I'm eating.
let's go. Feed the chickens. And then Uncle Jerry's like, hey, I'll be at your practice. So he shows up at my basketball practice, and basically he's heckling me at practice about not hustling. So the entire practice, he knows nothing about basketball. He's prolifically wealthy, by the way, because he invented the lunch cashier software technology and sold it at a young age. So I don't know he's wealthy, but imagine a kid in basketball practice, and their crazy uncle's up there going, come on, 34, quit dragging, like, wow, who's that guy yelling at you? My Uncle Jerry's like intense about stuff. Long story short, this sort of mindset he begins to develop is like, if you want to have success, you're going to have to earn it. He says, now, do you want to go back to Oklahoma and visit your friends? I said, yes, I do. He said, well, how much is a ticket? And I'm like, I don't know. It could be millions of dollars in my mind. He says, well, you're going to need to work for it. So I want you to make a list of all the problems we have here on the hobby farm, and then I'll pay you to solve them. And I'm going, what? So I'm running around making a list of like a fence post that fell down or a shingle that's missing or something that needs to be spackled or a hole in the wall or whatever. And he's like, okay, now go fix them. And I have no training. I have no idea. But he taught me that mentality. And I remember the first time he said, hey, your friend from school called and he wants to take you ice fishing. And I'm going, can you drive a truck on a lake? Is that possible? Don't we all die if that happens? He's like, you're going to go. It is possible, and people do it in droves in Minnesota. You're going to do it. And so I'm learning about ice fishing. I'm learning about working in the winter. I'm no exaggeration. It's 10 degrees below. It's freezing. It's 20 degrees. It's 10 degrees. It's Minnesota winter. I'm working. Well, my parents come back to rejoin with me. I'm not exaggerating. I was probably down maybe 25 pounds at this point. I probably lost 25 pounds. I had hulked up a lot because he was like, if you play basketball, you got to be in the weight room. So he didn't really know what you do in the weight room. He's just like, you have to go to it, So it's like I had really gotten great shape. I had also saved a lot of money, and I was getting up early. I used to be a guy that wouldn't get up early, and he had really just taught me this law of cause and effect. And if I had to distill what he taught me, there are two principles. Thomas Edison wrote this down. He said, opportunity is often missed because it is dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. Thomas Edison, he invented recorded sound, recorded video, top entrepreneur. He built GE. Another quote that Jerry would read all the time is Henry Ford. Henry Ford said, thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few people engage in it. And by the time my parents, rejoined with me, and I'm not exaggerating, he had me living at a lake house that he owned by myself on weekends. True story. I'm living by myself at the lake house. He's got me working. I'm making money. He's got me waking up early. He's got me in the weight room. He's got me actually doing well at basketball. And it was just this mindset, Dave, of if you don't work, you don't eat. And he just beat that into my head. And it was a profound moment for me, but it was a maybe 5 or 6 month window of my life that was kind of like business boot camp for me.
Yeah.
And Dave, I think there's somebody watching the show, Stacy, there's someone watching this right now. And Stacy, they've never had the success that you and your husband have had. And they're going, if I drive on this lake, I know I'm going to die. And, but you have, figuratively speaking, driven on the lake, and you know that the lake can support a truck driving on it. People auger through the lake. They fish on it all the time. You know that. You know it's possible, but they're like, And I just want to get your thoughts on this. What would you say, Stacy, is sort of like the mother of the show? There's someone watching the show right now, and they've never had success, and they're feeling like they're going to fall right through the ice if they give it a whirl.
Well, I think you really have to, first of all, have a dream, something that you're like, I really do want to accomplish that. And sometimes from your past history, maybe your family, you think that is impossible. So starting to dream again to, hey, what is actually possible? And then finding somebody, a coach like Clay, that can actually walk you through the steps to help you to achieve it, and putting your faith in that. Yes, I'm willing to step out one more time. I'm willing to step out and try to make this happen. And I will tell you this, I've never seen anything like it. At every event we've ever been at, we've been to Clay's office several times where we're just, following him around as he goes through his day, and people are coming in and out of the office. I've never seen so much success surrounding one person, that they've been able to help people from all these different backgrounds that really have nothing in common. But he's anointed for business, and he applies these principles. Everything that you were talking about there, Clay, that you learned at 12 years old, you apply those still today. In fact, before we started even recording today, you were saying you don't eat until you make your first sale. So what you learned at 12 from your uncle, you still apply today. And those principles work no matter where you're coming from. So first of all, you have to be willing to dream again. And then second, find a mentor, somebody that can walk you through the process, and trust that the process is going to work. If you do that, it truly is worth it.
And none of those things your uncle had you doing he didn't like give you an extra arm or something like that. There was there's no disability helped you overcome or something like that. He just got you to do what you already had the ability to do.
Yeah.
But if somebody's watching this today and you're like, oh, I could probably do this on my own. Well, if you could, you probably already would have.
That's right.
And it's not going to be some, brain transplant. It's just somebody giving you the next right move.
Yep.
And so, one, you don't waste time wandering in the wilderness on the way to the promised land. And number two, the accountability that only a week went by and you got something accomplished. You have measurable results on a regular basis. A lot of people don't need a personal trainer, but, if you're not doing it, maybe you do. You need somebody to keep you accountable. You need something extra, somebody with that cattle rod that's like, kind of keep you moving.
So 2 important things from this. Go to thrivetimeshow.com for sure. And you guys can get tickets to the upcoming event, and that's a great place to start. He was mentioning his 13-point assessment on here on the homepage of thrivetimeshow.com. You can actually schedule that right here. And if you're like, what would that look like? Clay basically breaks every business down into 13 points, and he's like, how are you doing in these 13 areas? And you kind of get scored, assessed, weighed, and measured, and then he finds the gaps of where he can come alongside you and work with you and coach you. Kind of he can be the Jerry for your business and be like, well, you don't eat, let's get this done. Let's get it moving. And then you can have that massive success.
Now, Colton, in honor of Uncle Jerry, I want to teach you how to speak Minnesotan. Your parents probably already know this, but I'm going to teach you 4 or 5 core phrases you could use them with your friends. Because when you start a business, okay, when you hire a business coach, you're going to learn some new language. It's going to be a little overwhelming because it's some new language, some new words. If you move to Minnesota, they have new words for almost everything. So Colton, if you had the best day of your life, okay, and you're in Minnesota and you ask somebody, how are you doing? They're going to say, this is code in Minnesota for it was the best day of my life. They'll go, oh, it could be worse, don't you know? So Colton, go ahead and try that. It could be worse.
Could be worse, don't you know? Could be worse.
Hey, that's good.
You say, don't you know? Because don't you know is like a Minnesota period. Okay. Now, Minnesota, if you're really excited to go to the store, or you're not excited to go to the store, if you're going to the mall, or if you're going to the grocery store, if you're going anywhere at all to buy anything at all, you're saying you tell people, you say, oh, I'm going to town. And now I thought people were trying to hide the truth of what they were really doing. I'd say to my friends, Aaron Rauschendorfer, what are you doing this weekend? Aaron Rauschendorfer, that was his name, Rauschendorfer. He would say, oh, I'm going to town. And everybody, that's what they do. They don't say, I'm going to Kohl's, I'm going to the Nike store, I'm going to Reese's, I'm going to Target. I'm going to town. So go ahead and Colton, try. I'm going to town, don't you know?
I'm going to town, don't you know?
Not bad. Not bad.
Good.
That's it. Now, in Minnesota, because in Minnesota it's so cold, you're worried that your guests have frozen their brains when they travel to your home. When you tell someone bye, you have to walk them out to their car and ask them questions you would ask a third grader. to make sure they know how to get back home, even though they drove there successfully. So, Colton, if you visited me and I lived in Minnesota, all Minnesotans know what I'm talking about. They'll follow you out to your car and they'll go, so, Colton, do you know where you're going? And then
I
like,
do.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got here. Oh, now do you need to go to the bathroom? Are you okay? And then they're going to offer you like food and beverages, and they're going to guide you down the driveway. Now, what you want to do is you're going to head out on westbound there, and they're going to. And it doesn't matter who you're talking to. This is what they do. Also
I
in
love it.
Minnesota, every story goes back to Kirby Puckett. It doesn't matter what the story is, what the story was. You go back to Kirby Puckett. He was the best. And there's a whole different world up there. Rhubarb.
Yeah.
Colton, have you ever had rhubarb before?
I have had rhubarb. Yeah.
Scrapbooking.
You like it?
I like it. Yeah.
He's actually
Rhubarb's
going
good.
to have for Thanksgiving a strawberry rhubarb pie.
Strawberry rhubarb pie. Yep.
His wife's going to
My
make
wife-
It's like a weed that won't die. It's the national dessert.
Yeah.
I had every birthday at the Bowser. I had every birthday at the Bowserhof. Every birthday was at the Bowserhof. It's a German themed. So I'm just telling you, folks, if I can learn to speak Minnesotan, if my Uncle Jerry can teach me a work ethic, if you're watching today's show, you have the mental capacity and the tenacity needed to be successful. And we've got 3 great solutions for you. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you can schedule a 13-point assessment right now. Just like Bobby, you could skip the conference, skip all that, just schedule a 13-point assessment, and we charge $1,700 a month, and we also have scholarships to help out people in need. Second, you can come to one of our workshops, Anaheim, California, December 4th and 5th. Dave and Stacy will be there. Eric Trump, this just in, President Trump's son will be there. Eric Trump will be there. Julie Green will be there. Amanda Grace. It's going to be an awesome thing. And then the third thing you could do, and I just encourage you to do it, is you can download every single book I've ever written for free. I think there's 41 of them right now at thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. I always put all my books out there for free to download. thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. And I do that because I believe everybody might not need a hand out, but we might need a hand up from time to time. So it's thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources. And Dave, hopefully this show made it into at least the bottom 20% of your shows. I don't want to be in the bottom 2% of the shows. There's been some interviews you've done. I'm sure you've thought over the years. I hope this thing ends. So I'm hoping I brought a little bit of positivity, Dave. Maybe we moved into at least that bottom 20% of your shows.
So good.
And people may wonder, like, hey, why we dedicate, the time, to do this? Because we probably get 200-300 emails a week of authors. They've written a book about something and they want to come on the show. And a lot of those are fantastic, I'm sure. But you're the most effective, efficient person at moving the needle. And at whatever time we hang up the hat and this show's over and doing something else or whatever, I want to look back and there's a wake of people I'm going to run into 10 years from now. And they're like, I actually started that thing because of that show. It changes the trajectory of people's lives. And that's what we want is seeds going in the ground. They're going to turn into huge trees all over this country that makes America great. I know working with you is going to help make that happen. And we're thankful for it.
Thanks again for your time, Clay. We really appreciate it.
Okay, Aaron Antis, guess who's joining us for the December 4th and 5th, 2025 Thrive Time Show Business Growth Workshop?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, we will not be joined by Santa Claus, but we will be joined by Eric Trump, the son of the 45th and now 47th President of these United States. And yes, Amanda Grace will be in the place. And yes, Dr. Stella Manuel will be there, so you know it will go well. Yes, we have Mel K in the house. Pastor Phil and Tammy Hotson-Pillar will be hosting this event at their beautiful church right there in sunny Anaheim, California. Yes, folks, make this a December to remember.
He's fresh.
Make this a December to remember and join us at the 2-day interactive business growth workshops. For over 20 years, folks, I've been hosting business growth workshops where we're going to teach you marketing, sales systems, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, sales training, search engine optimization, accounting, workflow development, financial management, all this and more. How do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, how do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com and request tickets today.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and people that parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 in the morning. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's why I was on Clay, this technology you tell your group. I was so impressed because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call. And we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual. And we picked it up and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to 100% growth. We're like a full functioning company. It's great. We're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls. We've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious, they're fun, they're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly, incredibly encouraging all the time, and he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive, but I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something, and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business, or was that something that you were maybe excited about, or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're gonna fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.